everybody, welcome to the Wellduck Way. I'm Jessica, and today's video is going to be the third video in our Next Step mini-series. If you missed the first videos, I will leave a link up here for you. Abby from Rooted to Rest and I really just wanted to kind of share what the next steps looked like in our homeschool. So I'm spending every day this week sharing a video about middle school with you guys, and she's spending every day this week sharing a video about high school with you guys. So if you are kind of looking forward to what is coming next in your homeschool, we're really hoping that these videos will help inspire you and encourage you before the new homeschool year. I think for me, one of the hardest things about entering the middle school years was I didn't feel like there was a lot of examples about what the days looked like, right? I was already stressing about having to do more and needing to add more, but there wasn't a lot of examples. Like, what does this actually look like in practice? And I think the reason that there's not a lot of examples is because there's really, it's boring, you guys. And that sounds horrible. That sounds really bad, but there's not a lot to show. Like, our days kind of looked the same day in and day out, and they were slow and they were beautiful to me in the moment, but they're not beautiful on camera, right? It's a lot of us talking and discussing, and it's a lot of just kind of monotony. And so there's not a lot of what does this look like day in and day out. So I thought that that's what we would talk about today, is we would talk about what homeschooling middle school actually really looks like in real life.
Most mornings actually started around breakfast. Emily would be eating, and she'd usually grab a discovery deck while she was sitting there. She'd flip through the cards, scan one of the QR codes, watch a quick video, and before breakfast was even over, she'd already had 3 more questions. Sometimes it was something simple, and sometimes it turned into a whole conversation before we'd even officially started our school day. I love that because it never felt like, okay, time to start school. It just felt like learning was already happening. Then while I was working out, Emily was usually doing her math. That became our routine for years, and honestly, it worked so much better than I expected. She'd pull up her math online, watch the video, work through the guided notes, do her problems, and by the time I came back, she'd usually be finishing up. It gave her something that was completely her own, and it gave me time to work out without feeling guilty that I was taking time away from our homeschool. Looking back, I think that routine was good for both of us. She got to lean into independence, and I got to be a better me. When I came back inside, we would usually sit down and do grammar together. Grammar was just easier together. We'd work through the lesson, laugh at some of the goofy sentences, answer the questions, and we would usually make lunch, because lunch was honestly one of my favorite parts of homeschooling middle school. We almost always took our lunch to the couch, because our couch probably saw as much homeschool as our kitchen table did. We would have our lunch there while doing our morning basket. There would be books everywhere, and then we would just start working through them. There was a read aloud on this day in history, usually something science related, vocabulary, and whatever other random things Emily had become interested in recently. Sometimes it was sharks, a lot of the times it was mythology, sometimes national park because of an upcoming field trip, and sometimes we would throw something completely new in there because she'd asked about it the night before. Here's the funny thing. I would almost always have a plan for morning basket, but I'm not sure we ever actually stuck to it. We would read a page, Emily would ask a question, I'd say I don't know, and then one question turned into another. We'd grab another book off the shelf, somebody would Google something, we'd pull out a discovery deck, we'd end up watching a video, and before we knew it, we'd spend an hour learning about something that wasn't planned at all. Those ended up being some of my favorite homeschool days. I think somewhere during middle school, I finally stopped worrying about staying on track all the time. If Emily cared enough to keep asking questions, then I wanted to follow those questions because that's where the real learning was happening. There was also books everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Fantasy novels, graphic novels, book we were reading together, books she was reading by herself. There was usually one on the coffee table, one beside her bed, some in the car, others sitting on the kitchen counter because somebody had picked it up while they were making lunch. We always seemed to be having 2 or 3 books going at the same time, and I love that. Reading just became part of our everyday life instead of something we only did because it was on the schedule. And there were always markers on the table. People think middle school means kids stop coloring or drawing, but that definitely wasn't true at our house. Emily almost always had a sketchbook, a journal, or a handful of markers sitting beside her. She would doodle while we talked, color while I read aloud, or sketch while we were having a discussion. And I think she paid better attention when her hands were busy. One thing that really surprised me about middle school was honestly how much technology became a part of our homeschool days. If you would have told me years ago that YouTube was going to become one of my favorite homeschool resources, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But Crash Course became one of our absolute favorites. It was never something where I'd say, okay, today we're going to watch this video. It usually happened because one of us had a question. We'd be reading about something in history or talking about sharks or mythology or whatever random rabbit trail we were on. And I'd say, I bet Crash Course has something on that. So we'd pull up one video, watch it, pause every couple of minutes because one of us had something to say, look something up, rewind because we missed something while we were talking, and then before we knew it, we'd watch 3 videos and learn about a whole bunch of things that weren't on the lesson plan. Movies became a really big part of our homeschool too. We've always loved reading books that have movie adaptations, so finishing a novel usually always meant a family movie night for us. We'd make popcorn, watch the movie together, and then spend the next hour talking about everything that they changed or being mad about it. Emily loved pointing out things they left out, and I always wanted to know why she thought the director made certain decisions. Those conversations were so much fun, and I eventually started creating movie guides because I figured we couldn't be the only ones that were homeschooling and doing this. And the games. Games never went away. I think people imagine that once your kids hit middle school, games disappear and everything becomes textbooks, but that definitely was not our experience. We still played Yahtzee all the time. Ticket to Ride was still a favorite, canoodle, logic games, trekking through history, trekking the national park. Honestly, if there was a game that taught something, I probably bought it and we probably played it. There were so many Friday afternoons where we both kind of looked at each other and think neither one of us wants to do another worksheet or another textbook or another this, so we'd pull the games off the shelf instead. Kevin would usually wander in and he'd clear the table with us, and suddenly we had turned a family game night in a few hours even earlier. Looking back, I don't think either of us ever thought we're practicing math or we're working on strategy. We were simply making a point to have fun together. Another thing that really changed during our middle school year was what was happening after we finished the things that I considered our must do's for the day. I became really intentional about not filling every single hour with curriculum or must do's because I wanted Emily to have time to figure out who she was becoming. I wanted there to be room for her interests, room for her hobbies, and room to try new things, and honestly, room to become a teenager. Some afternoons she tried karate, others she did guitar lessons. Archery became a huge part of our lives during those years, and not just for Emily, it became something all 3 of us enjoyed doing together. Looking back, some of my favorite middle school memories never happened around the homeschool table. They happened on an archery range, traveling to the tournaments, practicing together, and cheering each other on. Kevin and Emily also had STEM afternoons together where they would disappear for a couple of hours to build something, experiment with something, or figure out how something worked. And I love that because it became their thing. They were making memories together while learning at the same time, and I got to step back and watch their relationship grow. Emily also spent afternoons sewing with her Nana, learning leatherwork with her Pap, meeting with her online book clubs, playing Dungeons and Dragons with her friends, and writing fantasy stories just because she loved writing. None of these things were assigned. Nobody was grading them. Nobody was checking them off on a lesson plan. They were just things that she genuinely enjoyed doing, and I honestly think they were every bit as valuable as the curriculum we were using. I think that's one of the biggest things middle school taught me. Not every hour needs to be planned for learning to happen. Sometimes the best thing we can do is leave a lot of white space space for our kids to discover new interests, spend time with people they love, develop skills they choose for themselves, and become their own person. When people ask me what homeschooling middle school really looked like, that's my answer. It looked like a family living life together. We read a lot, we talked a lot, we played a lot, we traveled a lot, we followed rabbit trails, we laughed, we changed plans, we tried new things, and somewhere in the middle of all that, learning just kept happening.